Hi everybody, my name is Rhys Barber. I'm the audiologist here at Audiology Associates. We upload new earwax removal videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 PM UK time, so please consider subscribing. Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for watching our earwax removal video today. This is a very long video. This is one patient with a very difficult wax removal. My suggestion, go make yourself a cup of tea, go make yourself a cup of coffee, pause the video, came back in a couple of minutes and start it again because we're going to be here for a while. So let's give you a little bit of background to this patient. Lovely gentleman, has seen us a few times in the past, has very narrow ear canals, very dry wax, very dry skin. Okay, now all those three things mixed together make this a very difficult extraction to do. What you'll see here is we've got a really small space to work in. This canal is not only narrow, but it's also very small. This is the Jobson horn here, so you can see we're barely fitting the Jobson horn into the entrance to the canal, so that gives you some idea of how small this space is. What we're doing with the Jobson horn at the moment is just scraping away some of the looser, drier skin flakes from the entrance to the canal. You'll see why we have to do that, why that's quite important in a second. Gentleman normally comes through quite regularly to have his ears cleaned out on both sides, just because he gets very reduced hearing when he gets blocked up, which is understandable when you see what comes out. But he has recently had a new baby, so unable to get here as often as he'd like, and so we've got, instead of cleaning out every sort of between 3 and 6 months, we're looking at probably just over 12 months worth in here. So we've got a lot of wax in a very small space. So what you can see, we've got the fine end here. We're unable to get the standard sized Zollner tube in here and give us a lot of movement. We can use it, so I tend to use the fine end for this type of extraction where it's very narrow for most of the maneuvering and the delicate work, but because we have this white, see the skin, the white material here that's been lifted from the canal wall, because we have that skin material in here, it adheres to the canal wall really strongly, so sometimes the fine end won't have enough suction in it or enough of a grip with the suction to be able to pull that out. So what I'm doing at the moment is trying to unpeel the skin from the canal wall, unstick the wax from the skin, and then try to take it away piece by piece. With this very flaky type of material here, what you do tend to find is you get lots of little teeny weeny pieces coming off the main block of wax, and they get into the end of the fine end, and the fine end is less than 1 millimeter wide, so you can see that even a small piece would lodge in the end of that. So there is a lot of going in, taking small pieces away, going back out, going back in and clean up. So you will see that the tube going in and out of the ear quite a bit. Now we've broken through the sort of top crust, this harder section at the very entrance to the canal here. You can see then the wax changes consistency underneath. Now this is more a mixture of the skin within that wax, so you get this very thick dry layer of skin that's still holding on to the canal walls quite firmly. But because it is that little bit more mushy, it's difficult to get a really good grip on it. Now we're opting to change to the crocodile forceps here, but look what happens when you get a grip. Can you see the skin? It's such a difficult consistency to work with because the skin itself is very thick but not solid, so you can't get a really good grip on it to be able to take it away. So I'm aiming for some of the harder pieces of skin, so when it comes away from the canal wall, the skin will then naturally harden, but because this has been trapped against the canal wall, it hasn't hardened up, it's stayed relatively soft. So you can see we don't get this big peel that we normally get with dry skin. So just looking for any movement around the edge of the wax here. You can just see we're lifting, just coming away from the bottom left hand corner of the canal there. Can you see just how firmly this skin and wax is attached? very, very difficult. This would be this would be a difficult removal in a standard sort of average ear canal, but when you're looking at a very narrow canal like this, it's always really, really difficult. The gentleman started coming to us probably about 3-4 years ago, thereabouts, and nobody had ever managed to clear his ear out before. We did actually manage to clear it and get to see his eardrum, which is why he comes back for quite regularly to see us now. But obviously, everyone's circumstances, it's difficult for him to get through, which means we ended up with this really large blockage. Can you see how the wax bends underneath? So it's almost like I hate doing the food stuff analogies, but it's almost like this kind of fudgy texture. So when you put the suction tube onto it, what it does, it almost takes like a plug and blocks the end of the suction. So it's never easy, but you've got this much darker patch there, just where we're aiming for the suction tube there. Now that darker patch indicates to me that there's a little bit of a harder section to the wax there. But it's this perfect storm in here because you have this harder wax which is dried around this softer skin, which then the softer skin then is attached to the canal wall. So you can imagine then just how hard or how sort of firmly attached it is against that canal wall, and how difficult it would be to sort of pull this out. The gentleman was an absolute trooper. He's so good sitting through this. I mean, most patients will sit through, if they got to sit through sort of 10-15 minutes, they get a bit fed up by that point. I mean, I think this gentleman was in the chair altogether for just under an hour, I think. So long time, but happy to sit there and have it done just to get nice and clear. So just trying to aim for that harder piece at the bottom. You can see where the skin is slowly peeling away from the underlayer there on the canal wall. But as much as it's peeling, you've got this harder section in the center. So much more difficult then to fold it into that central section. So this is the largest, so this is the standard size ulnar tube in here. You can see where we're having a little bit of difficulty. See how the canal walls are flexing there a little bit on the outside? That's where the suction, what you can get sometimes is, obviously we've got the endoscope and you've got the ulnar tube in here. It can form almost like a little vacuum in the ear canal, and you get this collapsing. So if you do spot that, you've got to take the tools out quite quickly because you don't want it to build in pressure in there. So switch back now to the crocodile forceps just to try and break through the center of that wax, just to try and loosen it. I'm not trying to take it out, but just to try and loosen that central section. And back in now with the fine end, you can see now we're getting a little bit more movement, you see, to the bottom of this skin and wax debris. We're able to fold it up and into the center a little bit more now we've broken that central section down. It's quite painstaking work, this, because you're working close to the canal wall, so constantly lifting and moving. You can see this top section here looks a little bit harder, so I'm going to see if I can roll some of this wax down. You can see just little tiny bits getting sucked in all the time. Can you see the method we're using, which is we started at the top, we're working our way down the left hand side here, across the right. Can you see we're going in a little circle around this, trying to free up that outside edge there? Here we are, trying to use the side of the Zollner tube. So we're using the suction at the front and the side of the Zollner tube just to pull down through this wax, just to break it apart. It's with this type of stuff, it can be quite almost crumbly. It's a really strange texture. So it when it's all bound together, it's like a fudge. But when you start scraping along it, you get these little bits start breaking away, which is what we're suctioning into the Zollner tube at the moment. So you can see we're just trying to get these little bits. The reason we remove the drier sections from the entrance to the canal first of all, can you see how light the dry skin is at the entrance of the canal. They're really light flakes. Well, you're putting a very bright light into the canal to be able to see what's happening in there. So what you'll get a lot of the time, if you don't clear those little pieces away at the entrance before you start, is the light you shine in bounces back off those lighter pieces of skin, and you get a glare, and it's really difficult to see. Now, because the entrance of the canal is very narrow, the cilla, those tiny little hairs that stop any larger bits of debris getting into the canal, obviously grow all around the outside of the canal, but they can overlap, which is what's happening. So this is why your view can sometimes become a little bit obscured. You can see the little hairs there going across, but it's difficult because you have to stay further back with the endoscope to be able to get a good look in there without impeding the movement of the tools. So just the crocodile forceps going out, aiming for that bit of skin at the base there. There we go. I managed to get a grip on the side of it. It's pulled a little drier section off then from the right side, so I'm just going to go and grab that now. There you go. See, it's starting to unstick and kind of peel apart a little bit there now. I can see I've got a little flap there at the bottom, so very gently against the base of the canal, lifting. You can see just how much of a plug this is. There we are, just starting to pull that skin away there now. So back in now with the fine end. So we've taken away all the bits we've unpeeled, look, so now the job is now to see if we can unpeel again. There we are, lifting again. You can see the process again, working around the outside of the canal, trying to get longer pieces to come away if we can. There we go, lifting again, trying to lift this bottom section now. You can see, look at the white material at the bottom there, see how it's attached to the canal wall? This is what you're dealing with along the whole length of this blockage. See how firmly it's attached? There we are. See, it's starting to peel away now. So these are just layers of dead skin basically sitting on top of the canal, which is still attached to the canal wall underneath. But you can see this much whiter material now. So it's a case of pulling it all apart, fold it into the center of the canal, and then try to take it away. But it's got it's so firmly bound to the blockage behind it. That you'll see as we try and pull this away. See, you've got a grip on it there, but it's still like firmly attached to both the canal walls and that central blockage. So a difficult one to piece apart. There we are, just starting to see it coming away. I'm trying not to talk too much, guys. I'm conscious you've had to listen to me now for like 13 minutes. So I'm trying not to talk too much over this. There, see that, what I was talking about, that white peeling away again there, look to the top left hand corner. There we go, so peeling down into the center. You can see the redness to the canal wall. Now that's not irritation as such, that's where the canal wall has become really dry. Anyway, you can see you've got that fudgy texture in the middle again now. So I'm using the side of the Zollner tube. There you go, you can just got a piece there. Here we are, just trying to peel from the canal wall sides again. There we go. Now, at the moment, we are probably just over 2/3 of the way down the ear canal. So the eardrum is just beyond this back section here. Can you see just how tight it is in here? There's just no space in here at all. Very difficult for this poor patient. They've been suffering with their ears for a very long time, and had a hearing loss for a long time, which was actually down to this wax blockage, which is never, and skin blockage, which never, they've never managed to get away. When we remove this, his hearing's absolutely perfect underneath. There's no issue there at all. So he's very conscious of when he gets this reduction in sound. He knows his ears need doing, they're playing up a little bit. Just slowly peeling that across. Difficulty now is as the smaller bits come away and they get sucked into the machine, that's when you get the blockages there then forming. Got this large flap of dry skin here at the base of the canal. Just lift that up so you can see it. There we are. See that long piece there? You can see, you know, when I talk about moving it, just wiggling it back and forth, we're looking to see how much movement we get to the whole block. That gives us a good idea of how unstuck we are. But you can see as much as we tug this, the whole thing doesn't move. You've just got this very small portion of it, which is the bit you're working on, that moves, but the rest then stays quite solidly attached. Here we go, just see it start to come away. There you go, you're getting that longer. So you can see the skin is starting to break apart, look, as you pull it. We're starting to get a little bit of movement here now in the central section. See how it's all falling apart there? It's just starting to crumble away a little bit, so it means we can go in there now and just grab little pieces and get rid of that so we can work to peel the remainder of this out. See how it's skin, we're able to lift that. See how it's detaching? You can actually see where it's attached on the left hand side there, like that's just peeled away. So it's getting these fibrous kind of keratin bits out really. It's just these sort of harder bits of skin away. The difficulty we have is the deeper in the canal we go, the narrower this canal gets. So I'm trying to, I can just see a little glimpse of a gap there just to the left hand side of the suction. So it depends on how deep that goes. I'm concentrating on that section first. There we go. I've managed to pull out quite a big chunk of that slightly tougher wet skin away. And then we're going to work on that same spot. You can see it's attached there a bit further on the top side. So if I can pull that down as well, I'm looking basically to see if I can open up this gap on the left hand side here. Let's get rid of some of that excess wax. See, it's starting to, where it started to crumble, it's starting to come away in slightly bigger pieces now. Just lifting that drier skin across. There we are. I'm just attaching it a little bit. It is just taking this away piece by piece, just very slowly working this out. There we are, little bits crumbling away into the suction. There we go, got another piece away. Now we're starting to chip into that central section. Thanks to everyone who's given us feedback over the last couple of videos and has been letting us know whether they're seeing adverts as well on the videos, because some people have been mentioning there's been a few adverts popping up which we need to contact YouTube about. So thank you so much for doing that and for all the support you guys have given us over the last 12 months. This might be an opportune moment to tell you that we have got something slightly different planned for you over the next couple of days. So obviously I'm recording the voiceover this. This is Wednesday, so this will go out now on Friday. We are going to start doing the 12 days of Waxmas, which starts tomorrow. So we're going to count you guys down to Christmas. So you're going to have a video every day for the next 12 days, leading right up to Christmas Day. And so I hope you enjoy that. Obviously, we are off over Christmas and then back in the new year. So you won't see anything from us then between Christmas and New Year, but we are back in the new year then. So you'll get more videos starting back up then. So what you can see here now, we're just slowly pulling this section apart. This is a lot of skin trapped behind here, so I think a lot of this dry wax is actually embedded in a large flap of this wetter skin. Just a little bit of dry flaky skin just blocked the end of the suction there. Okay, we're starting to see a little bit of a gap to the top left corner. Okay, so I know we're getting towards the end of this now. If we can just open that gap up a little bit more. There, this is the gap I was talking about. See, we've got a little gap there. We can see a little bit more skin trapped behind it there. There's one really annoying little flap of skin which we just got rid of there as well, blocking the view. Let's loosen this top section, but you can see it's still attached there at the top part of the screen. So I'm just trying to fold this forward. It's not going in too deep. I'm trying to get behind it, roll that flap of skin forwards and out. Here we are. Just see, we're trying to. You can see it's attached right there on the canal wall. So as we're trying to fold it down on the one side, there's still quite a lot of attachment on the right side of the canal. There we are. You can see the skin material behind this holding all this in. So we're starting to get to the main culprit of this this issue. There, can you see that long? See how it's hard as you hold on to that with the suction? It's just such tough material that it just doesn't want to give. But I can see it's one big sort of flap of skin that everything else is attached to down there. So crocodile forceps are going to go in. Hopefully we'll be able to get a grip on this. Difficult because you can't open the jaw of the forceps too wide because the canal is very narrow. So it's hard sometimes to get the good solid grip, because you imagine you've got to open them quite wide to be able to feed whatever you're trying to get a pinch on then quite far in between the jaws. But if you can't open them very wide, it doesn't go into the jaws very deeply, so you don't get that really good grip. So you're just getting a pinch on the end there, trying desperately to grab that section. There we go. We've got that bottom section, which kept flicking everything out of the way. Back in with a fine end now. You can see where it's attached there at the bottom. It's just trying to give you an idea of the process, really, because when we're taking these kind of bits away, it's a case of loosening first, gripping, taking away, going back in there when we can get to the next section behind, loosening, taking that away again. Now it's starting to loosen. See, you've got the long white strip under there. That's it coming away from the canal wall a little bit more. I just realised I've had my head cocked across the left hand side to try and get a better view. So we're just going to grip this now to take this away. There we are, just folding, the top section's folding down now into it a little bit more. It's like I said at the beginning, it's a very narrow tube, so as soon as you get a bit of movement, the frustrating thing about this type of wax removal, this deep hard stuff, is when you're just getting the grip there, the suction will block, and then you have to kind of go take it away. So as you feel like you're making a little bit of progress, you have to stop and then go back in and start again. But this patient was an absolute star. He was so tolerant of everything we were doing. Now see this, now you're starting to see the movement. There you go, you're getting that bigger thicker piece of skin. See that moving forwards now. We're folding it, trying desperately to get a grip on that top section there to fold this down. I want to be able to see a glimpse of an eardrum if we can. See, we've got that whiter material, so we aim for the white. It's slightly softer, so it means with the suction tube beds in a little bit deeper, so we get a good grip on that. Really kind of pulling this apart, trying to tease it away from the canal wall. There we are. I've just started to break it away slightly. Now we're trying to roll it. We're trying to pull the rear section forwards. There we are. We're starting to get that harder lump there. Look at the top. See, now it's starting to fold down. I think we're going to get a glimpse of the eardrum. See, blocked. So we've got to clear that back out. Go back in again now. Just aiming for that lighter material again, because we've got the good grip there, you see. That's it, folding forwards, folding forwards. It's working down the canal. I know it doesn't feel like we're making much progress with this, but it is starting to come down the canal now, but it is so firmly held in there, and the fine end just really struggles to get that grip. So I'm going in with the larger Zollner tube now. Okay, now, we told you earlier about that collapsing of the canal, so I'm having to stay quite far back with the endoscope, but I can, now we've pulled it down the canal, I can see it there, so we can get a good grip. There, that's the grip we needed. You can see it's taken that large piece of dry skin away, but you can see there's more behind it. There's more of this dry material trapped behind that bit of skin. It's working our way down through the layers here, lifting, dry section there coming away. See, slowly working our way around this plug again, lifting off the base of the canal. But luckily there's not that much dry skin in this particular section, so it means we're getting a bit of movement here, just slowly trying to unstick, unpeel. I can see there's a little bit of dry skin further in. It's the whiter material you're looking for really, which is going to be causing the issue here, holding everything in place. Lifting. There you can see that whiter material now starting to come into play again. That's going to be holding everything in. Just shifted position slightly with the endoscope there. Holding on to it. Slowly teasing this away. You can see it's just, I'm trying to get that grip. There, now we're starting to see the first glimpse of the eardrum there to the left hand side. Just going back in now. Now we can see the eardrum, we can gauge the distance and how thick this last piece is. So we're just going to lift from the base of the canal here. See, as even with this slightly harder material we've got here, you can see that it's still got that skin debris embedded around it. So if we can pull that away, you know, we always talk about this valley at the base of the canal just before the eardrum. So all this skin debris is kind of stuck down there as well. So I'm really hoping this will come away in a big piece. There we go. Because obviously we don't want to be working down in that valley with skin if we possibly can. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially when the canal's this narrow. So what we can see now is trapped behind that base layer of dry skin, we've got this really large piece of dry wax which is settled up against the eardrum. So all this has been trapped behind that eardrum, behind that skin next to the eardrum. But you can see when we talk about this valley, this piece is actually much bigger than that part of the ear canal because it's settled in all the valley around. So I'm struggling to get this out because it's too big to fit down the canal. So we're going to have to turn it, twist it, and try and maneuver it into a position where I can get it down. So I'm going to use the fine end now just to see if we can get it moving around. One thing I forgot to mention earlier on, the reason I haven't used olive oil on this patient, I know I'm a great advocate for using olive oil in patients' ears when you're taking wax out. The entrance to the canal was so narrow and the cilla was so dense at the entrance to the canal, those little hairs, you can see them there. If I'd popped olive oil in, it would have adhered to all of those and it would have been a real problem. Then we would have lost our view completely. This is the standard size Zollner tube now going in, which is the reason I'm staying much further back. Because I can't get the grip with the fine end, so I'm trying to maneuver this. There we are, we've got the grip. Can you see the movement to the canal there on the right hand side? There's your grip coming now. There's the last piece, it's starting to come away. We've got light at the end of the tunnel, we're getting there. Just got that grip, just trying to pull there we go. It's just popped out of that valley now. It's traveled down the canal. There we go, we can actually see it in the canal itself. I mean, down there it looks huge. It's only a small piece, but when you take a look behind that, there's the eardrum, okay? But you can see that the patches of dry skin all around the outside edge, the redness to this canal. We've got a couple of loose pieces. So there's the first. The little white lifts of skin, I'm going to leave those in place, okay? Obviously the patient sat through a lot already, and to try and peel those off in this space would be really uncomfortable. Okay, when I take a look at the eardrum, we've actually got a piece of dry wax stuck to the drum itself. So we're going to very, very gently take that piece away, okay? So what you'll see, this is the fine end. Slowly working down to, there you go, you just see a little bit of flexion to the eardrum there, so I'm going to have to aim a little bit lower, and there's the pull. Okay, so that's come away. Whew. I need to sit down and a cup of tea now. So you can see the eardrum there is looking a little bit aggravated, but we cleared everything out. The patient's hearing much, much better, really pleased. In fact, they didn't, when I asked them after how did it feel, they didn't feel uncomfortable at all. They said it was actually really nice to have it done. Okay, so we did the one ear, but we've also got to do the other side. All right, so not as blocked up on this side. The wax is a very different consistency, which is going to be really helpful for us. So what you'll see now, we've got the Zollner tube in here. Slowly unpeeling. You're going to get a bit of blurring to the view just as we work at the entrance to the canal, because those little tiny cilia are in there. But you can see we've got that fudgy texture to the wax on this side. So I'm just very, very slowly trying to unpeel this. It's difficult because you do lose some of your view when you've got to work this close to the outer part of your canal in narrow canals. Okay, so you can see we're just starting to pull this down now. Trying to get behind it, as we did with the other side. I'm trying to use both the suction at the front and the edge of the Zollner tube or the fine end I should say, sorry, to bring this down the canal. It's quite tough, this wax. So I'm just you can see there's the jobs and all. That gives you an appreciation for how small the canal actually is and how narrow the width of the canal is there. It's such a tiny opening. We can just about fit the oval end Jobson in there. There we go. That's the first section gone. We can see a little bit of that dry skin, that whiter material underneath, but it's not completely blocked up in there, which is really good. Just trying to get a grip on this base section here, bring it forwards. There we go. That harder, a bit dropped off as we went in. The harder pieces now are starting to come forwards. Lifting and peeling again as we did with the other side. Obviously this has been a more complex case. I know it was a long video, a lot longer than we normally do for one patient. If you like seeing these more complex ones, you don't mind listening to me gabbing on for 40 minutes, I'm more than happy to do more videos like this if we come across these more complex patients. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this type of video. Because obviously this is something different to what we've done before, and I do like, if we do something different, I do like to gauge your opinion on whether it's something you want to see more of. So could you let me know if that's okay in the comments below, just whether it's something you want to see more of. So we've folded the wax down. We need to get behind it now. That the fine end is not really holding on to this very well. So I'm just using the Jobson again just to try and peel this bottom section away. You can see it it's thick and sticky until you start moving it. It crumbles and rolls into these little tiny balls. Dry skin here at the entrance. I'm just lifting that up, which should help us to get behind it. There we go. Just wiggling that out. There we are. Can see it very narrow on this side as well. trying to detach from the canal walls again. You can see we're just managing to slowly lift this off, but it's not really coming away very easily with the fine end. So I'm going to go in now with the standard size Zollner tube this time, staying a little bit further back just so we can so we don't cause that kind of vacuum effect in this tiny little ear canal. We've managed to get a good grip now. You can see the difference, the grip you get with the standard size. Obviously it's easy to go in and get it when it's on the outer part of the ear canal here, but you wouldn't entertain doing that with a much deeper in the canal for this patient. You can see we just got a grip on the outside edge there, just wiggling, try to work this out to that small entrance to the canal. So just picking that last little piece out of the canal there. You can see now we've got a piece of skin to the right, dry wax there on that left hand side and connected to the top and bottom there as well. So back in now with the fine end. Just looking at trying to detach this harder piece of wax here from the roof of the canal, from the attic there. Very gently maneuvering this out. You can see it's got that white piece of dry skin there which is holding it in place. Just move that a little bit to the outer part of the ear canal there to help us get a better view. There we are, just holding on to it, just slowly trying to work this down the canal, but that dry piece of skin further in is really holding on to this piece of wax. It's starting to come away. Nearly got a grip on it. You can see as much as we're trying to pull this out, that bit of skin is fighting back to hold it in place. There we are, we've got that dry piece of wax away. Whoops, sorry, just grab that. There we are. Try and get this piece out of the canal now. You can see there, that piece we just took away now, you can see how narrow the canal is. It's actually wedged in the outer portion of the canal. So we're struggling to get it past. Just going to give it a bit of a helping hand with the side of the Zollner tube there. Out he comes. Now we can see now we've still got that piece of dead skin to the right hand side. We can see the eardrum there. A little bit of dry wax now at the base of the canal. So we'll aim for the dry piece of wax now, see if we can get that away. Just try to lift. See, it's attached to that little bit of skin here, so we're going to have to try and see if we can lift and pull this bit of skin away from the canal wall here. There you go, starting to come away, starting to peel away there, look. You can see it peeling from the canal wall underneath. Okay, just trying to get a grip now on this hard piece of wax here and this bit of skin. Oh, there we are, just peeled a little bit away. There's still a piece that's attached to the canal wall, so we're just going to go in and grab that bit next. Hoping we might have got a hold of this harder piece of wax here and be able to take the whole thing out in one go if we can. Not quite. You can see it's still really holding on to that bit of skin there. You know, normally we don't like working really close to the canal wall like this, but with these dry skin issues you've got to work that section really close there. Good, managed to peel it away. Here it comes. You can see it's coming away from the canal wall there. That's the piece of skin that was kind of anchoring everything in place. So if we can go and get this dry piece of wax now, you can see how hard this wax is. It's actually flicking around in the canal, just with the power of the suction there. Awkward shape because it's very narrow at the front end, but very wide at the rear. So it means it's really difficult one to get a grip on. So we're going to use the forceps now to go in and grab this. There we go, and we'll pull that out now. Oh, got it to the outer part of the ear canal, but as with the last piece, because it's slightly wider, it's got a bit stuck. There we go, out it comes. Then the back end, the wider end, had broken away at the entrance to the canal, so we're going to see if we can work this out now. There we go. Trying to flick it over on its side. Just not quite budging there. Just going to put the larger Zollner tube in now just to get a good grip, because there's not quite enough space above at the moment to get the Jobson horn in there. So what would happen is the Jobson arm would actually push it further in, and that's the last thing we want to do. We want to be able to get this out. And there we go. That's the last piece coming away there. So let's take a look behind there. And there's the eardrum there, looking nice and healthy. You can see that dryness happens much further down. So this is what we removed. So you can see quite a bit of debris there from both ears. Consider how small those ear canals were, so just under 4 centimeters there. And we've bunched it all together, 1.5 inches altogether there as well. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Take care. Thank you very much for watching our video today. If you did enjoy the video, then please like. If you're not subscribed already or you'd like to do so, you can click the subscribe button here. If you'd like to check out some more of our videos, they're also up there. Now, if you want to follow us, you can do on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also check our website if you want to know a little bit more about us. And as always, guys, until the next time, take care.